Hey, good morning, guys. This is John Phillips. It's Sunday morning. I think it's the 18th of September. Maybe 19th. Let's see. Yeah, it's the 18th. Anyways, I was thinking I'd do a little story about my Navy days, how that went, and how it influenced the rest of my life. Um, so I grew up in Providence, Rhode Island, basically South Providence, Rhode Island. Tough part of town. Uh, a lot of crap going on, a lot of drugs and just craziness. Low income area. Uh, and I was kind of in the middle of all that shit. And unfortunately, my best friend, he got killed. And I was headed in that direction. I didn't finish high school. So I was basically out on the streets. I always worked. I always had a job. I went to school for construction and cabinet making, but just being in that environment was very bad for me. And, people, my friends, nobody was really doing very well. And so it wasn't even my idea. I believe my younger brother, decided that he wanted to go in the Navy. And I was like, fuck, I'll go in the Navy too, just to get out of here. And we could go in on the buddy plan, and we'd be on the same ship together, and we could go through the Navy together. And I thought that was cool. So anyways, we go down to the Navy Recruitment Center in downtown Providence, and we sign up, man. We're fucking headed towards the Navy. And so we got to take what's called an ASVAB test. And it's basically an entrance exam to see where they're going to put you, what kind of job you're going to do in the Navy. And so we go in there, and we take the test. And me, being the smart guy that I am, I mean, I am pretty smart. I smuggled a calculator into the test. So I did really good on the test. My brother, he didn't do so well. So I'm heading into the Navy, and he's my buddy who's waving to me on the fucking, at the airport as I leave. So that buddy system didn't last very long. So I end up in the fucking Navy. And I leave Rhode Island on December 2nd, middle of fucking winter. And there's two places you can go for boot camp. You can go to Chicago, which is cold as shit. I didn't want to go there. Or San Diego. And lucky for me, I was sent to San Diego. So all right, guys, so I'm back here. I had a little issue with the camera. So anyways, I'm heading to San Diego for boot camp, and the recruiter, he shows up at my house at like 5 o'clock in the morning to take me to the MEP station up in Boston, Mass. And that's where I was going to ship out. That's where they swear you in, and you're in the Navy at that point. But I was all fucked up, hungover. I'd been partying all fucking night. I was a mess, And I was like, when we got there, they made you take a piss test, and I was like, they're gonna fucking shit can me the first day I'm here. And anyways, it didn't happen, And it was funny because when we were there, they draw blood and all kinds of shit. And a couple guys, when they got their blood drawn, they fucking like passed out and smashed their faces on the desk and craziness, But I'm all fucking hungover, and I'm like, what the fuck did I do, But anyways, I get on. I'm heading to San Diego. Never flew before in my life. And so they bring us, we're we're gonna fly to San Diego out of Logan Airport in Boston. And I don't know if you've ever flown out of Logan, but man, you come off the fucking end of that runway and you're out over the ocean and or whatever, the bay. I don't know what it is, but it's water. And the fucking as soon as you get up in the air, man, the plane starts taking like a hard left, you know, like you're like laying on your side. And I was just scared shit, man. I was not comfortable flying. I don't like it. I still to this day don't like flying. But anyways, it's funny as we had a layover in St. Louis, which was cool. We flew through there, and I saw the arches in St. Louis, which was pretty cool. Flying over cities at night is really cool. I mean, it's all lit up, and just the way the light falls on the streets. And the traffic and brake lights and headlights and stuff. It's pretty cool. But anyways, so we go to St. Louis, and then I get on another plane and we fly to San Diego. And this all started at 5:30 in the morning. I get to San Diego at like fucking midnight, you know, and we're all fucking tired. But in the middle on that flight to San Diego, like I'm wide awake. Because I'm scared shit now, you know, flying, everybody's sleeping. And I'm sitting there, my feet were stink. I had stinky sneakers, you know. And I mean, I could smell them while I was sitting in the fucking seat, you know. My foot funk was like wafting up into my nose. And I figured the people on each side of me could smell my feet too, because I was sweating so much, you know, from being nervous. So I wrap a fucking blanket around my feet to keep the smell down. And we're flying along, and all of a sudden, they must have turned like the air conditioning off in the cabin, and I thought the fucking engines stopped. And I was like, we're fucking gonna crash, you know, we're going down. And I'm looking around and everybody's sleeping, and I was like, should I wake everybody up or just like let them die in their fucking sleep? Is that the right thing to do? Anyways, it wasn't, obviously the plane wasn't going down, but so we arrive in San Diego. It's fucking midnight, where I'm exhausted. I'm happy my feet are on the ground, as stinky as they were. And we get on a bus and they take us to San Diego Boot Camp, the Navy base out there. We get in there and we're in a room, and it's got 12-inch square tiles, and each guy gets 4 tiles, basically 2 by 2. And you got to sit there, you got to stand on those 2 tiles, and the guy, you know, the company commanders are in there, and they're kind of barking at us and treating us like shit. And the whole time I'm thinking, like, what the fuck did I get into? So one of the guys, he looks at me and he says, hey, fat boy. He starts fucking with me, you know, calling me dickweed and fat boy. And I'm looking at this guy, and I thought to myself, you know, if this was yesterday and you talked to me like that, I'd knock your fucking lights out. But I couldn't say nothing, you know. I'm in the fucking Navy now. I gotta just take this shit from this asshole. But it was funny, and they come out, they give us a little ditty bag with all our shit in it, soap and toothpaste and all that shit. And then they bring us to the barracks. And we get in this barracks. It's about 2:30 in the fucking morning now. And everybody's just fucking like, every guy in there had a look on their face like, what the fuck did I do? Anyway, so we crawl in our racks, and I'm like two beds away from me. There's a black dude who's like 6'9". I mean, he's just fucking huge. And he fucking hits that rack, and within 5 minutes, he's fucking asleep, you know? But he sounds like a fucking grizzly bear sleeping. I mean, he's snoring and literally shaking the whole fucking barracks. And this crazy fucking bastard from down south Arkansas or something. He fucking gets out of his rack and he takes his pillow with him and he goes over and he just fucking nails this guy in the face with his pillow. And the guy sits up and he's like, "You need to shut the fuck up." And he went to bed. So a couple hours later, literally 2 hours later, here comes the fucking trash can rolling down the center aisle in the fucking barracks. And I was like, what the fuck? And now I'm like, you know, sleep deprivation really fucks you up, man. It's not good for you. So we're all like numb, you know, our fucking eyes are crossed. We don't know what's going on. And they take us, and the first thing they did was take us to the barber shop. Fucking whack our hair off. We all look like fucking, I don't know, magic markers, you know? But this one dude, he had a big ass mole on the back of his head. And the fucking guys, they're using clippers like you use on a fucking sheep, you know? I mean, they're like fucking lawn equipment. And, yeah, they whacked this guy's mole right off the back of his fucking head, and he's bleeding like a stuck pig. And I'm just like, totally, like, it just fucking, it takes you out of reality, man. Like, you realize you're in a different place. So then later that day, we go and we get all our fucking clothes, and they give me, you know, you pick up all your shit, they size you, you get your, now I'm wearing fucking dungarees with square pocket, ugly ass, the ugliest pants you ever want to see, fucking bell bottoms, you know? I'm like, what the fuck? It's 1985, man. I'm wearing these bell bottom fucking dungarees and boondockers, the black boots, you know? Just, it was hilarious, man. So, anyways, I ended up in the drill team, company 951, and they had, you know, they were the parade company, you know, they had all the musicians and people, you know, the band and flags and all that shit, and they let me carry the flag from my state, Rhode Island, and that was cool. We did a couple events off of the base for the public, you know. We did some parades, which was cool. And a couple of times, you know, during that, you know, I think I was there for eight weeks or 10 weeks or something. But a couple of times I thought, I'm going over the fence, man. As soon as the fucking sun goes down, I'm out of here, man. And one of them was when we all got shots, you know. You go in there and they hit you with these shotguns, and you catch 2 shots with like 10 needles in each one, in each arm. So you're getting it from both sides, and then the whole fucking company, 90 guys, we're all sick as shit. We're all throwing up, shitting. I mean, it's just fucking horrible. We're all in bed for a couple of days. And at that point, I was like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I'm done with this shit. And I was really planning to go over the fence, you know, to like sneak out of there and then fucking make a collect call and have somebody buy me a fucking plane ticket back to Rhode Island. But I stayed. I got through it. And at the end of boot camp, I got meritoriously advanced 1 pay grade. I got in pretty tight with the company commander. He was a cool guy, and I was a little older than most of them. I was 21. A lot of them were just kids, you know. We did have some real old guys, 40 years old or whatever, that switched from the Army to the Navy, but not many of them. But I was in tight. I was one of the cool guys in the company, and the company commander was real cool. But anyways, I get my orders. Now, they told me when I enlisted, after I took the test, they said, you're going to be an airplane mechanic, you know, on a carrier. And I was like, wow, that's going to be cool. You know, I'll be able to use that and get a good job after I get out of the Navy. So I get my orders at boot camp, where I'm going next. Well, let me tell you, my wife, she was my girlfriend at the time. and my mom and my two sisters. They came out to San Diego for the graduation, and I got a little bit of time off. And that night, the Thursday night when we graduated, I got some time off to go out and, reunite with my girlfriend. But anyways, so I had my orders. I had to report to Chicago for A school. And my orders were I was going to be a boiler technician, not an airplane mechanic. And I was headed to fucking New Jersey, man. I was like, are you serious? These guys, my friends in there, they were getting orders to like fucking Hawaii, California. I'm going to the garbage state, you know? And I was like, Jesus Christ. But it was close to my house, so if we were in port, I could drive home. But yeah, it was heartbreaking for me. But it all worked out in the end, you know? I get to New Jersey. I'm gonna be a boiler technician. Anyways, hang on, I gotta rethink this. All right, guys. This is gonna be the end of episode 1. I was in the service, active duty for 3 years, 6 years reserves. And so I don't know how many episodes this is going to be, but it was pretty funny. And it's nice. I'll show you some pictures of my ship and some of the places I've been to. I've been to like 20 different countries. And it was interesting, man. And everything worked out in the end. It was a great time. And it's pretty interesting. I hope you tune in and watch the second episode. I try to keep it funny. Maybe I'm boring you to death. Who knows? But anyways, that's going to end episode 1. And we'll start off again from the end of boot camp in episode 2. Going to A school up in Chicago for a few months and all that entailed. There's a couple funny stories. And then arriving at my ship and how that all went down in episode 2. All right, guys. See ya.